and welcome to another episode of Libertarians at Large. My name is Eric Rotzip. I am one of the Libertarian LNC members at large, serving you and all libertarians and liberty-minded individuals around the country. This program is focusing on the news with a libertarian view and is more of a lighthearted program geared mainly towards new individuals to the Libertarian Party or veterans to the Libertarian Party who are looking for a laugh. So, without further ado, let me add my co-hosts, Laura Ebke, also a member of Large on the LNC. How are you doing, Laura?
I'm well, Eric. How are you?
Good. Excited that this is actually going to be our last show in 2020. Can you believe it?
That's crazy, but 2020 can be over tomorrow as far as I'm concerned.
And then this week we're also joined by special guest, a gentleman who needs no introduction, but I'll introduce him anyway, our vice chair of the Libertarian National Committee, Ken Molman. How are you doing, Ken? You're muted. Oh, we lost Ken.
He'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back. But it's amazing how fast this year has gone. It's just, every moment seems drawn out. But then when you put all the moments together, it's like they've completely just vanished into thin air. It's the most unusual year I think I've ever experienced.
It has been an unusual year, and it kind of blurs. When you stop and think about it, okay, when did this happen? Was this during this part of the shutdown or that part of the shutdown? And we had my youngest is in high school yet. And so we had a break at one point. They stopped school in the middle of March last year. And so he had this really long summer vacation. And so I'm ready for it to be over with. And I have some hope now that 2021 is going to be better. It's got to be.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so many things that are already lining up that hopefully it will be a much better year.
Can't be worse, right? I mean, well,
let's not jinx it.
Knock on wood, it's been something.
My gosh. I mean, it's just, but you're right. Putting things in order this year has been unusually difficult. It's really interesting. But
okay, people are already asking about where Valerie is. Valerie is doing something family tonight, right?
No, actually, she is doing her duty as a Libertarian at Large member and New Hampshire Libertarian member, and she's on another conference call tonight.
Okay.
So she's still working for the party. She's still doing her due diligence, but her responsibility pulled her in another direction.
And I saw that they had like a foot of snow in New Hampshire today.
I know, That's gosh.
Crazy.
Well, I mean, and it's not just New Hampshire. I mean, I'm friends with Queeter on Facebook, and he was posting some amazing pictures just from upstate New York, not too far from the city, and they had almost 18 to 24 inches. It was absolutely insane. I mean, it kind of, looking back. I mean, I wasn't even technically born yet, but the blizzard of 78. I came a day or two late for that one, but that was. And we have Ken back. Technical difficulties resolved. Oh no, we're still muted though. The mute's on the streamcast, not on your. Let me see if I can unmute you.
Cannot hear you, Ken.
No, it's not even letting me select it. Like I can mute and unmute Laura, but it's not even an option on you. I don't know why. Your mic is not connected. That's what it's telling me. So I guess we're still having a little bit of technical issues. Ken, I'm going to put you into the back room there. So hopefully we'll figure that out.
Well,
So
we need Ken to help with the quiz though, because
yeah, right. Yeah, we definitely need our help with the quiz. But that's coming up. Okay. So hopefully we'll get all of Ken's technical issues resolved. But are you ready for Christmas? Are you ready for the holidays?
I am ready. I think I'm waiting on the last of my my Amazon shipment to show up this weekend. It says it's on its way. I have a bad tendency. I started shopping early, and then I forget what I'd ordered. Mm-hmm. And then I ended so you can't see it in my office, but the other half of my office is filled with boxes. And I started wrapping the other day, and we're gonna have plenty.
Well, okay, so I'll admit it. I don't wrap presents. I put them into gift bags and call it a day.
Well, the ones that I can, I do, but there's some that just don't fit into the gift bags. So
this is true. Well, I will say that Walmart sells some very large gift bags, so yeah. I'm usually covered. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, but yeah, it'll be nice. We've got a little bit of snow on the ground here in Nebraska right now. Mm-hmm. And it may stay. We'll see. It's supposed to get a little warmer this weekend, but warmer is relative right now. It's it's 43. It was 43 degrees today, and we had some really, really warm days a week and a half ago when it was in the 60s, right? And so now this 43 feels cold. In a couple of weeks, when it doesn't get up above 18, then 43 will seem like a heat wave. So it's all relative depending on what you've been most recently used to.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, no, that's well, and there is a very remote possibility that North Carolina will actually have a partially white Christmas this year. They are predicting that when we wake up, there may be snow on the ground, but then it will quickly melt and turn everything surrounding into mud. So it's interesting. I haven't seen a white Christmas since I lived in New York, so it would be nice.
So Jared Hall is still ragging on me because I haven't gotten his campaign mug from 2 years ago. I did a kind of some cool mugs for my volunteers in my last campaign. A local craftsman creates these mugs that they're the ones that change colors as you.
Yep, now I can hear.
Hey,
you can hear me now.
Camera angle issue.
There we go.
Yes, that's all right. That's okay. We have audio.
That's the important thing. Welcome, Ken.
Hey,
so
sorry.
I got to finish telling the story about my cup.
Yes,
please do.
Yes,
okay. So anyhow, we put the Harry Potter thing. I promise that I am up to no good, or I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. Only we just put great good, right? And then on the other side we had a map of my district, and so volunteers got that. So as it got hot, it was kind of cool, but
that is
kind of tacky, but cool too. So.
Hey, sometimes the tackiest gifts are the best gifts.
Yeah. So Jared is due one yet. So.
Oh.
Ken, we're glad to see you.
Yeah, sorry guys. When we left the back room and came over here, Chrome decided that the microphone was no longer allowed to be used. And when I hit the microphone to turn it on, it turned the camera off and disconnected me. So that was an interesting scenario. So one restart of Chrome later, and here I am. Sorry about that.
No. Hey, it all happens. We're just going to make fun of you, seeing that you're one of the technical leads of the Libertarian Party, and we couldn't get a microphone running.
Listen, if technology worked flawlessly, I wouldn't have a job.
Well, this is very true.
Just
this
saying.
is very true. And we're glad you have a
So,
job. So,
Yeah. So I am too. I like to eat. So,
Yeah.
but no, the Christmas stuff. My job in the family is always to buy the practical gifts.
Mhm.
So the last couple of years in a row now, including this one, I have bought USB cables for all of the children and the wife. It's things like that. I mean, listen, everybody makes fun of that gift, but everybody uses that damn thing all year. All year long, everybody's going to use their USB cables.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, and I get them color-coded by person, so there's no fighting over whose is who. And, it's like, nope, that one's red. That's yours. That's, that's how that works. And that, it's all about utility. And
There you go.
while it's not exactly exciting, it is, it's useful. So, yeah, that's how I roll with Christmas, is by the utility boring gifts that people use all year. So.
Well, and that's important. That's really important. That's the type of stuff that makes the rest of the year run well, and it means that your gift is appreciated all year long. So, what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't get that spike of whoa, wow, exciting at the beginning, but all year long, it all works out all year. It's nice and flat line.
Exactly. So, does anyone have any plans for family or New Year's bashes or anything like that?
Staying home.
There you go.
Yeah, we're staying home. My grown daughter and son-in-law, and most importantly, my granddaughter, will be down. But otherwise, we're limiting the rest of the family. Nope.
So Alex and I are going to be rebels, and we are going and doing New Year's Eve reveling in downtown Durham and downtown Raleigh. So
Nice.
yeah, that's the funny thing is we've never done it before. We always usually have a party at the house, and this year we didn't want to do a party at the house, so we're going to join everyone else's party in downtown. So
Nice.
it's going to be kind of nice.
That's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
the exciting thing I've got is, and it is exciting for me, is that my oldest has got a real job, and he starts in January, and so we're helping him move. Yeah, excited about that. And so we're helping him move the week between Christmas and New Year's. So.
And where's he moving to?
Just Ohio. It's not that far. So it's an hour and a half away or so. So
Okay.
just getting a U-Haul trailer and trucking it up.
Far enough to have independence, but not far enough not to get help if needed.
Right. Yeah,
It's
I
good.
think it's more just opportunity. It's where the opportunity was. So it's good. It's a good job. So it'll be good for him. So.
And that's an important first move. I mean, that's
Yeah.
it's needed still.
As someone who hasn't lived more than 20 miles away from my parents, yes. But it's not about, it's never been a discomfort with moving. It's just been where your network is and where you have people, and
Right.
I know people that can, if I need a job, I can get a job, and anybody who's outside of this area, it's going to be a travel gig anyway, so it doesn't matter where I live. So, and if I ever get another gig like that, I am living in Florida, because winter can go away forever. So, I'm done with this stuff.
Ken, apparently you aren't really a libertarian.
Why?
Because you don't have any books behind you.
I always described myself as a blue-collar libertarian back in the day, and honestly, I haven't read a whole lot of it. I've read Atlas Shrugged, of course, because I'm pretty sure you get kicked out if you don't. But and I did skip the radio speech the first time, because good lord, that was awful. And I read it the second time. I'm like, yep, didn't miss anything. Okay, just rehashing the book in 50 pages. Okay. But I've always been a leave me alone libertarian, right? My way I came here was I want to be left alone to do what I want to do what's right for me and my family. And what made me a libertarian is realizing that in order to get that, I have to be able to be willing to do that for everyone else. Right. That if I leave everybody else alone and they leave me alone and we all go do our thing and we don't interfere with each other and don't hurt each other, then we're cool. And so that's my kind of libertarianism. I call it the blue-collar libertarianism. It's very not very deep philosophically. It's just a desire for everyone to do what they want to do.
It's a practical libertarianism.
Yeah. It's not. I don't have books behind me. I have a server, which is the
could
noise
hold
that
the
you're
entirety of human knowledge behind you, and we don't know.
I don't think it has enough space for that. But but it does do some good stuff. We do various different things, very, again, practical things, get out the vote type stuff, backups for our internal systems, development areas, that kind of stuff. All very practical stuff for what we do as a party to push forward. I mean, I've been full-time on the party since 2006. I got a random email from the state chair in February of 2006 saying, "Hey, who wants to run for Congress? Come to Louisville on this day." And I showed up with another person from the 4th District, and we were the only two. And we got 4.9%. Well, no, it was actually, we decided, it was like, hey, we decided that he would be the candidate, I'd be the campaign manager. Neither of us had any experience doing either one. But we had a lot of fun with it, man. I mean, it was so much fun. I had a great candidate. My candidate was so fast on his feet. I mean, that's something that cannot be taught, is being able to be fast on your feet. I'm not so fast on my feet, so he was so fast, always quick with a witty, dry, sarcastic response that was great. When someone would try to hit him on something, he'd just come right back. So we had a petition. He had to do his petition, and one of the people was like, "Where do you stand on the wall?" And he's like, "Well, I'm against putting up the wall." And he's like, "Well, I can't vote for you then." And he's like, "Well, listen, the way things are going, I want to be able to get out." And the guy's like, "That's a good point. Let me sign that petition." So, it's that kind of, it's that kind of being able to react to those scenarios that make people good candidates. But since that time, I've been full-time with the party, 40 hours volunteering a week, because I see that we just need to grow. We need more people to understand that if I leave you alone and you leave me alone, we're all better off for it. So that's really been my drive and passion for 14 years now. And that campaign, though, it still holds a special place in my heart. We created, everybody's heard of barnstorming. We created barstorming, which is basically a pub crawl. And we literally went to every bar and had a beer and talked to the people, and went to the next bar and had a beer and talked to people. And we did it every weekend. And that was part of the campaign, because we had $750 against $10 million between the D's and the R's. Mm-hmm. And we paid for the beer out of our own pockets. We used the $750 for a filing fee and for gas money. And that was it. That's all we had. And some radio ads. That was fun. Those that have followed me and what I do with campaigns, when we get cut out by the media, I don't take that so well. So we ran radio ads condemning the debate organizers in their hometown. In 2018, for the Irvine campaign, we actually did targeted YouTube ads and targeted the student bodies at the colleges that were hosting the debate, because I'm that kind of jerk. I'm mean. I will be mean. If you're being a jerk, I will be mean. So it's a thing.
Well, that's a good thing. That is a good quality to be,
I try to be nice.
Able to be a jerk and still not come off as one. And that is very important.
Well, those guys, I don't think the schools don't, I'm not a jerk. There's somewhere a double or triple negative there, but I think the schools probably do. They were not happy. But too bad. That's what they get for conspiring to be part of a corrupt system where they literally changed the way. They waited until the polls came out to set the criteria so that we were excluded.
Wow.
So this leave me alone libertarianism is really at its very core the the base level libertarianism, right? I mean,
yeah.
And if we could all just agree that that's our that's our floor, okay, and quit fighting about the stuff that we build up above that, right? I mean,
absolutely.
I'm not an I've got an ideology, I guess, but I like to think that I'm not an ideological libertarian, because I don't, I say, come on in. If you if you just want the government to leave you alone, come on in. We want you.
Exactly. And I have never been one for purity or litmus tests. I have found, I'm a 3-term former state chair, so I did 6 years of time served. And,
get credit.
my whole thing on, what's that?
You get credit for time served?
I think. I don't know. But my thing is I've always found that people that don't fit will find their own way out. Like, if they really don't hold the tenets of the philosophy in their heart, that they believe that we have to get involved because people are too dumb to make decisions, even though the people that would otherwise be making decisions have zero information about that person to know. I mean, look, you could make the worst decisions ever, but they're still going to be better than ones I would make for you because you at least have the information. I don't know what you're doing in your life. Yeah. You know, I can't make a good decision for you because I don't know you that well.
Right.
So, you know, but the point is that if you can't get to that base understanding that no matter what, an individual is always going to be the person most capable of making the best decision for themselves. Mm-hmm. If you're not there, you're not going to fit. I'm not going to run you out. It's just that in 6 months you're going to be gone and you're going to have a rough time because everybody else is going to be beating you up for 6 months. But I'm not. I've never been a purity test or an ideological test person. I think that's leads down that path of you're not a true libertarian, you know, no true Scotsman fallacy where there's no true libertarian because everyone says that, you know, my way is the only way. I can't see the quotes because of the way my set's set up here. But it's saying, is he a bleeding heart libertarian? Is that what he's saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
But he likes the leave me alone types.
Yep.
You know?
Well, they're the same thing, though. So I actually consider myself a little bit of a bleeding heart as well, right? Whereas I want people to succeed. At my core, that's my goal, right? Is that I want to succeed. I want to see other people succeed. And seeing other people succeed actually gives me happiness and joy. I mean, even if it's not me, I see somebody succeed and it's like, that's awesome. Like, there's no better story than our former lieutenant governor here in Kentucky, as an example of this. She's a Republican, but liberty leaning and whatever. But she grew up in the ghettos of Detroit, and she got out. And she made something with herself because she had the drive and determination to do so, and rose to be the first African American to serve in our executive branch in Kentucky. So, I mean, that's a great story, and I love hearing those kinds of stories. I love it when people succeed, and so no, I mean, I think that the point is that when you're a bleeding heart libertarian, part of that is you offer the hand. Right? You offer to help someone on an individual basis, and then it's up to the individual to take it or not, right? And some people, I have a lot of alcoholism in my family, and so one of the things I know about that is the person has to hit rock bottom, right? They have to realize they need help. You can't force help on someone. We look at our taking it to a bigger extreme, look at our adventures in the Middle East. You can't bomb someone to liberty. You can't bomb someone to freedom. You can't force them to accept that. They have to come to that themselves. And it's that way in all things, right? All we can do is offer a hand, offer information, offer help. But we can't force anyone to take it and actually achieve freedom. Likewise, taxes aren't charity. You can't take my money away from me and then say, oh, look, we did something good with it. That's not charity. Charity is when I take my goods, time, services, and freely give them to other people, right? That's charity. And I that's why I find the tax system so offensive, is that it takes away my ability to be charitable and turns it instead into some sort of racketeering scheme where, you're taking my money by force and telling me it's okay because we did part of it went to something good that I don't even know about and is run horribly and inefficiently.
And that's not to say that certain government organizations shouldn't be charities. Like if NASA was a charity, I would give money to NASA freely, and there would be no need for taxation to make sure that they got money.
Well, the food stamp program, right? Like, I don't want to see anybody starve to death. Are you kidding me? I don't want to see kids, and especially kids, like they're born into it. It's not like they made a choice, right? So, I think that the problem is these systems, when they get so large and they're at the federal level, they're so disconnected from the ground. And it inherently adds all these layers of bureaucracy, right? You've got the feds, and then you've got the state, and then you've got all the remote offices that are there for the benefits, instead of being community-focused and voluntarily community-focused, which I think is much better. It's one of the things actually I love about Kentucky, is that we actually have the most counties per capita of any state. We have 120 counties, but only 4.4 million people. Wow. And what that means is that we're hyper-local. Everything's hyper-local. And it's great because the lowest levels of government are very, very close to the people. And I think that's good. Obviously, I'd prefer it all to be done charitably, but if it has to be done through the government, at least doing it locally means that I have a bigger say and more control, and the people in my community have that. So, okay, sorry. I have to look over my screen to see what's being said, so sorry.
It's all nice. It's all nice about you there.
Yeah, well, no, I appreciate that, but and I don't mean to go on a tear here because I know that we have trivia coming up, and that is one of my favorite things too.
Yeah, that's the next thing. So absolutely.
But I want to see everyone succeed. That's what it comes down to, and that does. And that includes myself, it includes my wife and my children, my future grandchildren. I want to see everyone succeed, and that's why I'm a libertarian, because I want to see everyone able to achieve success. And what is it they say? Well, biblically, it's the whole give a man a fish, teach him to fish thing. But there's no truer accomplishment than doing it yourself and achieving that accomplishment, right? There's no amount of ownership, and that's why things like Habitat for Humanity actually have the recipients help build that home, right? Because there's that sense of ownership that I did this, I accomplished something, and I think that's extremely important to empower people to succeed. And empowerment simply means letting them know they have the power to succeed and getting other government entities out of their way to let them do it.
Well, we are at that giving time of year too. People tend to be more giving at this time of the year for whatever reason, and I think that it's important for us to remember that there is a level of market influence in giving that we don't see with government. Government just takes it and gives it to whoever without without the sense of either the people getting the money doing a good job, or without a sense that the people who are giving the money want it to go there. And when you have when you have charitable institutions, you can find out what people really care about. And you have to appeal to those who are giving the money. And so you just don't have that with government. Government just decides, who to take our money away from and who to give it to.
And the sad part about that, right, is that I know a lot of people that work for government agencies locally, right, and they actually believe they're doing the right thing. People working for, family services, that type of stuff, where they're, trying to help people get out of a hole, trying to help people get ahead. And I see those people get extremely frustrated with the bureaucracy and the rules and everything that comes from D.C. or Frankfurt, in my case. When it gets down to the local community, it's like, we could just help these people if we did this. It would cost nothing more. But I'm not allowed to do that.
9 times out of 10, the intentions that created that government program are phenomenal.
Right.
It's the execution that makes everything fall apart, and the bureaucracy, as you said, which is absolutely true, makes it inefficient, and it never actually gets done the way the vision was in the beginning, because government inherently has to have all of these checks and balances, which make more cost to the impact.
And not only checks and balances, they have to treat everyone as a number.
Yeah,
right? The
absolutely.
Equal Protection Clause requires that you are a number. There is no individuality when it comes to government.
Correct.
And what you're talking about, the people want to make things better. This is the difference between libertarians and socialists, right? We see the same problems. That's why when you hear Bernie Sanders talk, and why a lot of young people hear Bernie Sanders talk, they were drawn in, because he correctly identifies the problems. Mm-hmm. The issue is that his solutions are doing more of the same things that caused the problem to begin with. And that's the piece that people don't recognize, is that it was the good intentions that created the government programs that then caused bigger problems that now we have to try to solve. And so that's the difference between us and socialists, is we see the same problems. We want the same outcomes. Look, most socialists I know want everyone to succeed, right? I want everybody to succeed. But how do we accomplish that? And that's really the philosophical debate that needs to be had. Exactly. I know where I stand on it, obviously. I think I know where Laura and Eric, I think I know where you guys stand on it. but that's the bigger discussion, and I believe that empowering individuals to get their own success is going to work better because it's individualized, and it's going to work better because the individual accomplishment will be taken in and loved and cherished by the person that accomplishes it. And I think that's what socialism misses.
And I think that we need to remember those libertarians, and then we'll get to the fun stuff, I guess, with the quiz. But I mean, I think what we have to remember as libertarians is, you alluded to this earlier, Ken, people come from different backgrounds. We can't put ourselves in their shoes, and so we have to try to be empathetic as we lead them along, as we and talk to them, and not right away. I don't know about you guys, but here in the Midwest, the thing that scares me the most are the fire and brimstone, you're going to hell tomorrow preachers. We don't need to be that. We can be the ones who love people, who care for people, who are empathetic with them, and try to explain to them without making them feel stupid or bad. That libertarian ideas can help, and that's so I mean, I think that's an important thing for us to talk about, especially at this time of year, right?
And I totally agree with that idea. But to build on it, you have a federal government or a socialist policy or whatever that comes from the federal level, and it has to be one size fits all. And who's to say that the solution that works well for Barrow, Alaska, is going to be the same solution that works for Key West, Florida? We're such a large nation and so diverse that one solution is not going to fit everyone. I mean,
it inherently can't.
Exactly. Exactly. So there's no way that we can have a federalized, socialized program and actually have it benefit the majority of individuals.
Right. No, and just to key off of what Laura said, that fire and brimstone, we don't have to have a message of condemnation and fear.
Right.
Our message is powerful, and it's about success and achievement, and it's all positive. And I think that's the one thing that, if we're going to find a niche in the politics of today, the D's and the R's have a solid fix on fear and hate. So our niche is love, compassion, and success. Yeah. And I think that is where we fit in, and it fits in well with our messaging and our message generally anyway. So that's what I'm all about, is let's be nice to people. And Laura, I can't agree more on, we need to not condemn people because they're not here all the way. Instead, we need to say, welcome, I'm glad that you know about this. I used to have a thing I called the planting the seed, where if I knew I wasn't going to see anybody again, doing county outreach kind of things, being able to plant a seed so that something they would take away and think about that would lead them down the path to us, right? It's just simply a matter of, you believe in, and a big one at the time was homosexuals should be allowed to get married, right? Gay marriage should be allowed. And I'm like, well, that's cool. You believe that you should be allowed to do whatever you want to do in your life. I agree with you. I mean, I'm not gay, but if it makes you happy, cool. I'm totally good with that. I want people to be happy. And I'd say, likewise, and I'd kind of have, based on the conversation, figured out where I can get them down the path, right? And I'd usually choose something like, likewise, I want you to be able to spend your money however you want to in your marriage, right? Because you guys are going to have your marriage and you're going to have your own needs. I can't know what that is, right? Because, I know some of it because we're all people, but I'm heterosexual, not homosexual, so I don't know what is involved in a gay relationship, and I don't want to have government telling people, in a relationship you get a tax deduction for X, when I don't know if that applies to you or not. I don't think that's good. I think that you should be allowed to decide what you do in your own life and not have somebody that doesn't know you set up weird incentives or disincentives that may penalize you. Right. And just kind of leave that seed to try to plant it so that they understand that that's where we're coming from is, here's you, this is your belief, here's how it fits into our beliefs and why we believe what you do, and then here's the next step out. And that was always the planting the seed method that worked really well. I think that we helped people at least understand where we come from, even if they don't fully embrace the philosophy.
But I think it's time to...
Planting the seed, you don't want to poison the water.
Oh, yeah, don't poison the well. That's no good.
And that's always the danger, is that that we try to plant seeds, and instead of doing that, we don't. We end up poisoning the. And so, I've seen several great comments along the side.
Oh yeah.
I think because we got some.
I've been trying to share them as they come across, but they're coming across fast and furious here.
We've got some new libertarians.
A lot of new libertarians today. I'm loving to see that.
Yeah, well, welcome to all of you. We love having you here. And my friend Jared just keeps, throwing new things out. I'm not even going to respond to him anymore. I love Jared. Jared is a native Nebraskan, and he, we'll have him on.
And Jared is also calling for the quiz, because it is one of the most favorite parts of their show.
That's right.
So I think
real quick before we do it, because Jared asked when I'm going to stop talking, so I'm going to talk just to spite him, because that's how I roll. Somebody just earlier asked, they're thinking about joining the party, which you can do by going to lp.org/join. Just figured that's our duty here to throw that out when somebody says something about joining.
A couple of times, but I'll throw the banner up again here.
Just in case somebody's listening and not watching, because I do that with podcasts too.
Yes.
lp.org/join.
And you can contact any of us via the form on the LP page down at the bottom, I guess is where it is. You click on contact or something, and it'll let you send a message to us, and we'll respond in some way at some point.
All right, let's do the quiz. I'm excited. I love trivia.
Going here. Okay.
I won a Bluetooth record player 2 days ago doing trivia through work.
There you go.
It's going. We're going.
So question 1. The Federal Trade Commission and more than 40 states accused Facebook on Wednesday of buying up its rivals to illegally squash competition. What did prosecutors call for Facebook to do? Appoint a new chief executive? What?
I think it's break it up. Right?
Yep. Break off Instagram and WhatsApp, elect a new board of directors, and pay billions of dollars in penalties. So Ken says break off Instagram and WhatsApp. Laura, what's your opinion?
I think that's right, but I don't know for sure, but I think that's what it is.
I agree with Ken, so we'll go right there. And yes, that is right.
Sorry, I'll try to keep myself calm. The trivia thing, when you do it for prizes, it's also who gets it the fastest.
You don't win anything. So I'm like
skimming and just like bang, yes, bang.
Well, I always make sure that the person who gets the answer right out of our viewers does get their message put up. So, nice. Jared, congratulations, you did get that right first. Yeah, federal and state regulators of both parties said in separate lawsuits that Facebook purchases separately Instagram for $1 billion in 2012 and WhatsApp for $19 billion 2 years later eliminated competition that could have one day challenged the company's dominance. So
I just want to point out that Instagram was a fool for not hanging on for another couple of years. Apparently, they could have got $18 billion more.
Exactly. But this raises a really interesting question. What is the I know what the answer is, but what is the libertarian view on companies buying each other or the potentials of monopoly and all of that stuff?
I will tell you in this particular case, because anybody can create another social media site, and certainly people have. I mean, we've seen people go into MeWe, Parler, some of these others. I don't think this really has a leg to stand on in my world. I mean, I hate Facebook. Make no mistake. I think they're the evil empire, and they're always spying on me, and really I'm on there only because of the LP stuff, and I like to try to screw with their algorithm. But I get all kinds of weird ads. But other than that, anybody can start up a competitor. The only reason Facebook's a monopoly is because, in any way, is that people are still there. And, when Facebook started cracking down on everything right before the election and kicking tons and tons of people off, I think the breakup has already begun. There are people who have already left. There are people who are already going. I think we're going to see factionalization. Parler is obviously a right-wing leaning thing, I think. Yep. I'm not sure. I'm not on there. But, and then there's also Twitter. Twitter's still out there. I don't. This isn't like it's like, oh, there's one sewer company in the whole county, and now we've jacked the rates up tenfold, or, even in the government-protected monopoly space, right? The whole price of insulin thing. This is a different scenario where anybody can write a new platform, and I think that we're waiting for that next platform. I think we're waiting for that next generation. What's going to be better than Facebook, and I think there's plenty of opportunity for that.
So the big question out there is whether there's a way to improve our level of digital privacy, to prevent, Facebook as a platform, has its pluses and minuses for sure, but how do you protect your privacy? Those algorithms that you're talking about, Ken. So.
I think the main thing there is, and actually I saw a very good thing on this. Services like Google and Facebook and those that are free, they have to make money somehow, right? I mean, they have server farms, data centers full of servers. They have to pay for that somehow. Yeah. And so to pay for that, they're selling your information, right? When the service is free, you're the product. Yeah. And I think the solution is going to be some sort of subscription-based service. How exactly that rolls out, and will people accept paying? I think the article that I saw said that our information is sold for $12 a year or something like that. So, I mean, $12 isn't really that much money. And, if people would be willing to pay maybe $15 a year for a service that is guaranteed to protect their privacy, that could work. I think that's the selling point. That's the door. Will it happen? I don't know. But
next question.
Next question.
I was going to say, we're going to run out of time.
So, which top cybersecurity firm revealed on Tuesday that hackers had stolen its digital tools, which could be used to mount new attacks around the world?
I did not hear about this, amazingly. Like, this is my realm, and I didn't hear about it.
No clue.
Wow. So, I know Fortinet as a company, but Fortinet is a security company, and I work with them a lot. The others I haven't heard of. So I go with Fortinet only because I've heard of it.
I will say FireEye is also a security company.
Okay.
And they do a lot of government contracts.
Well, that government contracts inherently infers silliness, but I don't know. I always go with my gut. That's something I learned a long time ago, so I go with Fortinet. It might be wrong, though.
Hey, Jared and Paul say it's CrowdStrike.
Okay.
Phone a friend.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll take the phone a friend. I mean, the wisdom of the crowd.
CrowdStrike.
Yep.
No.
Oh, it was fire. It was. Eric had it.
No, I didn't know it was them. I just knew that they were a cybersecurity company. But FireEye revealed on Tuesday that its own systems had been pierced by what it called a nation with top-tier offensive capabilities, and that their hackers had used novel techniques to make off with its cybersecurity tools. The FBI confirmed that the hack was the work of the state, but it would not say which one.
Interesting.
So
interesting. I'll tell you, you guys know we've been in a Cold War, like a digital Cold War for a while now, right?
Well, and that was what I was about to say, that, this is the next battleground.
Yeah.
The Soviet Union, I'm going old school here, but Russia has digitally attacked many of the former Soviet republics, economically, socially, communications-wise, and now they're going after bigger fish. I mean, there's tension between Russia and China because there's been ongoing cyber attacks between the two countries that are spurred on by their national governments. This is the 21st century battleground, and we're just not identifying it as a true war yet.
Yeah, no, I think that's that's a much deeper conversation. We'll run out of time. But long story short, the Cold War, the digital Cold War, has been going for a while. And I do worry that it's going to lead to an armed conflict at some point. I mean, was it the Israelis that spiked an Iranian reactor, right?
Yep.
Or not reactor, but
Nuclear
Centrifuge.
refinement. Yep.
Yeah,
It's the nuclear refinement.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that causes people to go to war. So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's if there's one thing to take away, everyone, from the individual all the way up through companies, need to do a better job of securing their stuff and making sure you have at least backup copies so you don't get trashed. I do a lot of ransomware recovery stuff these days.
Yeah, it's a scary possibility there. Next question. The U.S. House of Representatives overwhelmingly passed a $741 billion defense policy bill on Tuesday of last week. Which of the following measures would the bill require? Prohibiting the transfer of surplus military equipment to local police departments. Cross your fingers. Providing unconscious bias training during basic combat training. Stripping the names of Confederate figures from American military bases, or the full integration of women into the military.
Whew. I'm going to guess it's the third one, the Confederate figures, but I don't know. That's my guess. I know that was being talked about.
Laura?
I think it's the fourth one, but I don't know. The integration, the full integration. I don't think it requires that.
So, seeing that I live in North Carolina and we have Fort Bragg, who happens to be named after a Confederate figure, I will agree 100% with Ken, because it has been in our news non-stop. So yeah, that
democratically controlled house.
Yeah.
And when you could do something useful like fully integrate women in the military, or you can do something symbolic like take names off of bases, it's Congress. They did
it's symbolic every time.
Yeah.
Because now also they're going to have there's a discussion on how are they going to rename them. So they're actually talking about campaign donation. Basically, methodology is going to basically be the not fundraising for the government, not advertising like Larry Sharp has talked about doing with the bridges in New York City. No. Donate to my campaign, and I will speak for you on the floor of Congress. So
we've reached that point. Good deal.
Yeah,
Glad to know.
We have gone that low. And look, right. The graphic that they provide is Fort Bragg. So yeah, that is not a surprise at all, because we have not stopped talking about this bill for the last week. It obviously we still talk about Corona more, but this comes in a close second, I think. Yeah, no, it's already opening itself up for corruption, which is really disgusting.
Okay, keep going.
Which musician sold his entire songwriting catalog to Universal Music in a landmark deal estimated at more than $300 million? I'm going to phone a friend on this one, because I have no idea.
I'm going to guess. Right now I'm stuck between Sir Elton John and Sir Paul McCartney, who are both sirs, as I recall.
Yes.
They've both been knighted, I believe.
But Paul McCartney has the entire collection of the Beatles music.
Oh, he has the Beatles too?
Yeah.
He got it back. He got it when he was willed it from Michael Jackson when Michael Jackson passed.
Oh, wow.
So Paul McCartney got it back. So I'm thinking his song collection is probably worth a heck of a lot more than $300 million.
Wow. I don't know. I can't believe it's Dylan. I mean, Dylan is a known name, but he's niche. You don't hear a lot from Dylan these days. Bruce Springsteen had a few hits. I don't think it's worth $300 million, but I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
So we've got Tyler telling us that it's Paul McCartney, and we've got Jan telling us it's Bob Dylan. So those are our two phone friends here.
I will tell you, my gut said Elton John from the beginning.
So you're striking off in your own direction.
I'm just saying that's
still,
my
he's
gut.
still out doing his tour. I've got tickets to his tour, his grand finale thing in Lincoln on the 22nd.
We've got a second one for Dylan.
I think it's Bob Dylan. That feels like Bob Dylan to me.
Yeah, well, you know what? We've got two phone friends that are telling us Bob Dylan.
Wisdom of the masses. Let's do it.
Yep. And our
nice
masses,
job.
all right. See, libertarians are some of the smartest people out there.
Oh, I know that.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just stating the obvious here, my friend.
Okay. That's an easy quiz.
Yep. Universal Music purchased Dylan's entire songwriting catalog of more than 600 songs, in which might be the biggest acquisition of a single act's publishing rights. The price of the deal was not disclosed, but it's estimated at more than $300 million. That's amazing.
That's a $500,000 a song.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow.
That's huge.
Nice.
Okay. Next question. Unless if we wanted to discuss that more.
Well, we're going to run out of time if we keep
going.
Yeah,
that's true. Next question. Chuck Yeager, above, the first pilot to break the sound barrier, died on Monday of last week at 97. Which book made General Yeager a cultural hero?
I believe it's The Right Stuff.
It was The Right Stuff.
It is The Right Stuff.
I don't have any books behind me, but I'm pretty sure.
Yep, it's The Right Stuff. Great book, great movie, and actually Disney Plus is bringing out a new show that's going to be more true to the book than the movie was, because the movie decided to focus more on the astronaut aspect of the Right Stuff book. And excuse me, leave a lot of the Yeager story behind, which is unfortunate because his story is phenomenal. Which mountain grew by about 3 feet on Tuesday when the new measurement for the peak was announced? Denali, K2, Mount Elbrus, or Mount Everest?
I don't know, but I want to know how a mountain grows. Do you feed it rocks?
They remeasured.
There's actually a couple of ways. A, it's volcanic in nature and additional pressure has increased. 2,
that would make sense.
The measurement has always been incorrect anyway. Or there has been some sort of structure placed on top of the mountain, and that now changes the overall topography of the mountain because the structure very often is considered part of the mountain.
This may be overthinking it, but in that scenario, number 2, the mountain didn't really grow. It's just that people learned how to measure and count. So the mountain didn't grow. So I'm going to say that wasn't it. I think volcanic is. I think you're onto it there. So which of these is volcanic? That's the question.
So the only one that's volcanic, but it's a dead volcano, is Elbrus. All the others are actually tectonic mountains.
Well, you say it's dead volcano. This is 2020, so I'm going to go with Elbrus then.
Laura?
I'm going volcanic. It makes the most sense to me.
I feel like it's Everest. I don't know why, but I feel like I saw something about Everest.
Well, Jan agrees with you. So, and actually, I happen to know the answer to this because it's a multinational attempt at remeasuring mountains, particularly between China and Nepal. And it is Everest. And actually, what?
Why are they fighting over the tallest mountain?
Nepal and China have always had a very bad relationship, and Nepal has usually signed on with India. And the Chinese are basically trying to find something that they could work with Nepal on that they could actually be friendly about and start trying to create positive relationships between China and Nepal. And
that's
actually,
good.
It seems to be working. Actually, the Chinese plan is working on this one. There is actually a sense of good feelings and good tidings right now between the Chinese and Nepalese government. So
somewhere there's a joke in here about using a Chinese tape measure to measure and it not being right, and that's why I just hate Harbor Freight. I'll just throw that in there. But anyway,
you are free to start that line of joke. But hey. No, actually, it's a really interesting story, and if we weren't running out of time, it's a fun one. So yeah, I encourage, if you're watching, research it because it's actually quite funny. So what did new research reveal about Johns Hopkins University's eponymous founder? His death certificate was forged. He had 4 children from extramarital affairs. His household included enslaved people, or his wealth was greatly exaggerated.
I've been really busy with work this week, so I haven't been keeping up. But I remember there was some news story that I saw, I think towards the beginning of the week, about extramarital affairs and genetic testing or something or other. So that's where I'm going. I don't know if this is that story, but...
I think I saw something. Because you got to remember, this was like a week and a half ago.
Uh-huh.
I think I saw something about enslaved people in his household.
And that would be a lot of egg on his face, because Johns Hopkins was one of the leading abolitionists leading up to the Civil War. So I will admit that I don't know the answer. I missed this news story, so I'm in the same boat as Ken, but that would definitely be the scandal right there if he had enslaved people.
Jared thinks that it was forged, a forged birth certificate, and it's probably because it said that he died of COVID.
So which one are we going to go with? I'm gonna go with enslaved people.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's just,
definitely a good one.
All right, which one are you going with, Eric? I'm sorry, I was laughing.
Because it would be scandalous, I'm going to go with enslaved people.
All right, so that's 2 for enslaved, right, Laura? You went that too, right?
Yep.
Do it.
All right.
Nice.
Laura,
nice on the guessing. Not nice that he had enslaved people in the house.
That's right.
Yeah, no. Laura got it right. Wow.
Okay.
The thing is, though, that's the whole lens of history thing, where Jefferson hated slavery but had slaves, right? Because you had to, because if you're going to keep up economically, you have to do what everybody else is doing, but you can still hate it, right?
Yeah.
It's the whole don't hate the player, hate the game thing. Anyway.
Yeah. That's very true. For the first time in years, Australia will conduct a national count of which species? Dingoes, kangaroos, koalas, or wombats?
I'm going to go dingoes just because of the whole dingoes ate my baby thing, but I have no idea.
I'm thinking koalas because I've heard a lot of stories about koalas being really impacted with the wild brush fires that were going through Australia.
Aren't they endangered already?
They are.
They're all endangered, yeah. Don't know.
First time in years. That would make sense, though. They were probably put on the endangered species list. They were counted, and then they haven't been counted since, probably. So I can go with koalas.
Koalas?
Yeah.
And actually, Tyler
says
agrees. Jared says dingbats. I think. So yeah, let's go koalas. And yes,
sweet.
It is koalas. It just made sense. I didn't know the answer, but it made sense. The Australian government announced that it would commit $2 million Australian dollars or 1.5 million USD to count the country's koala population and record where the animals live. It will also use new methods such as heat-seeking drones, acoustic surveys, and detector dogs.
Sorry, when I hear heat-seeking, it's like, oh, they're going to fire heat-seeking missiles. So.
Oh, and look at that. The world wildfire estimated the overall 61,000 koalas had been killed, injured, or displaced during the summer's wildfires. So yeah, I did remember that I've heard a lot about koalas during their wildfires. So which musician became the first to reach #1 on the Billboard 200 chart with an album that's entirely in Spanish? We have Bad Bunny, the Mavericks, Jennifer Lopez, and Rosie, I'm going to slaughter this. I do really apologize to anybody who is a Hispanic individual listening or a fluent Spanish speaker. Rosalia.
I literally have no idea. I don't listen to new music, so I don't know.
Yeah, don't know.
If I had to guess, I'd go with Rosalia.
Yeah.
But that's just
That'd
a guess.
be my best guess, but I have no idea.
We don't even have anybody commenting on this one, so we don't. I don't know.
Tyler
says it. Yeah, Tyler says it's Rosalia.
Tyler agrees. So let's go, Rosalia.
Let's do it. Oh,
Bad Bunny.
Who's that?
Bad
Never
Bunny.
heard of him.
I don't know who Bad Bunny is.
Yeah, I'm out of touch when it comes to entertainment.
My household has been infected by K-pop, so I don't have anything but K-pop playing elsewhere in the house other than my little realm.
So I see a picture of an asteroid, so I've probably read this article too, just to let you know, because I'm a space junkie and an addict. A robotic space probe landed on an asteroid, collected samples, and ferried them to Earth, where they were recovered last Sunday from the Australian outback. Which country conducted the planetary mission? And I'm just going to say yes, I already know it.
Nice. I did not hear about this. That's really cool.
China. I don't know. China. Maybe.
Let's see. China is most likely in my mind. Second would be India, but China's the most likely. I know they've been working on a space program for a while.
So Jared agrees and says that it's China. China was in space news. They successfully landed a probe on the dark side of the moon.
That's right.
And they've been getting some awesome science out of it. But the Chinese space program is not advanced enough yet to get to an asteroid and free return. So actually, there's a couple of people saying China, India, Rock. You are watching. You say Japan, and I agree. It is Japan. Japan has a very advanced space program. Actually, it's not as advanced as the United States or SpaceX. Well, actually, it's more advanced than SpaceX, but the ESA, Japan, or JPA, and NASA are the three biggest space agencies in the world right now. So, Japan pulled off. This was actually their second attempt. The first attempt brought back like 6 grains. Rock talked about China's returning a lunar sample, and they will.
Nice.
But from an asteroid, Japan was the first people ever to get material back from a asteroid. This was their second attempt, much more successful. The United States actually just pulled this off as well, but that asteroid material won't arrive until late next year, and it's going to dwarf what Japan was able to pull off. The U.S. mission was exceptionally successful. Last question. Which 2 shades did Pantone pick as the colors for the year of 2021? I have no idea. I'm thinking something either depressing or exceptionally cheery. And because Ultimate Gray and Illuminating are both exceptionally depressing and cheery at the same time, reading over the options, I'm sorry, I didn't read them out loud. Illuminating in Classic Blue, Rose Quartz and Serenity, Serenity and Ultimate Gray and Illuminating. I'm going to say Ultimate Gray and Illuminating because that kind of wraps up what I said just jokingly before. So
I could see that, or I could go with Illuminating in Classic Blue, but
I'm going to say...
So actually, Rob Howard says yellow and gray, and that really will prove that the Libertarian Party will have its year in 2021 because it's yellow and gray.
Yeah!
Nice.
Let's
do it.
See. Is it door number 1? It is! Woo!
That's all us.
that it's all us for 2021, which I love hearing. So yeah, wow, I'm actually kind of stoked about that. But it's 9:05. We've made it through the quiz a little late. I'm really happy to everyone who's kind of stuck around. I hope that everyone watching has an amazing holidays and a very happy new year. And we'll see you. The next show is going to be, I should have had this pulled up, and I'm January the 7th. Yes, yeah. Nice. January the 7th will be our next show. Hopefully we'll have everyone here to start off the new year. Laura, Ken, any holiday well wishes to everyone watching?
I mean, just to wrap up, thanks for having me come on. And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Laura. The slight delay there. I thanks for having me on. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the new year. I'll be watching on the 7th, and I hope everybody watching, I hope everybody has a good Christmas, a good New Year's, good Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I hope it's happy, festive. We a lot of people are not able to see family right now. So, don't hesitate to make the phone call and make sure that everyone's there. And like any holiday season, it's always a very good idea to check in on those that don't have a whole lot of family and make sure that they're doing well. This season is all about caring and compassion and then celebration. I don't know that there will be a bigger celebration on an individual level than the end of 2020 in my personal realm. This year has sucked. I am an extreme extrovert, and I need to get out of this place, meaning my house. And so I'm hoping for a much better 2021. I'm hoping that everyone else has a very good 2021, and I hope that everyone has a good holiday. So thanks again for having me on.
Thank you, Ken. That was awesome. Laura, any...
No. Thanks, Ken, for joining us, and Eric, thanks for your job as the hub of the wheel, so to speak, to keep us going. And best wishes to everybody. Enjoy your holidays the best you can, and let's all look forward to 2021 together.
Yes, absolutely. Merry Christmas, Happy Yule, Happy Hanukkah, or anything else that you celebrate and love, and have a great new year. We'll see you in 2021, everyone. Have a great one.